All right, here we go. I draw the composition on the white canvas at this point. So I have the pencil design down and I begin to lay down the background, which is that vertical and horizontal stripe rice paper, and I pull holes out of it. I take out clumps of that because that's where I want the flowers to be, and I want a pure white background so the flowers sing. Here they go. Some red rice Chinese paper, and it's very thin, very kind of transparent with little fibers in it. With Liquitex yellow paint, I block in some flowers because I want that brighter, deep yellow background on the future flowers. Now I work back to front, so right now you see me laying down the darker purple color for the background behind the table and behind the placemat. And I'm refining it and tearing it and getting the edges just right. Now I quickly lay down what I already pre-cut, you didn't see that part, the black and white abstract design on the table itself. So now I have this lovely blue paper, bits and pieces of it that I've used before. So I'm tearing it into shapes so it's trimmed down and fits into the space that the tablecloth is, because I really kind of like it and I think it would work well for the tablecloth. And I'm gluing it, I'm cutting it, I'm laying it down, trimming it down until it's exactly where I want it to be. Now I'm going to work on the vase. I have this paper with little black dots and I cut it to the shape of the vase. I'm now going to I spray painted the top of it so it would be yellow where the line of the paper crosses. And here's what it looks like with the black dots close up, which you couldn't see from the distance. Now I'm laying some orange paper with fibers and lines through it on the red to give it some more texture. And then quickly I go into the yellow papers for the yellow flowers and touch a little bit more red. And I go back and forth between colors. Now I'm cutting these sunflowers, which have those jagged pointed edges, from a heavy yellow textured crinkly kind of paper. Chop, 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 chop. And I see, okay, I got about 4 flowers, chopping away, chop, 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 chop. And of course the center of these big sunflowers will be black. So now I pretty much have them down in place, but I decided, there are the little pieces I cut away, might use them somewhere. And there are the sunflowers, but I decided they were a little too pale, so I'm painting them with acrylics and just brighten them up with a brighter yellow. And when they dry, see, there they are. When they dry, I paste them back into the picture and I let that dry. I'm also now adding leaves, green leaves, a little purplish colors, some blues, maybe the center of the flowers. I'm adding those black centers on the red flowers and the yellow flowers, and pretty much the flowers are finished. And now I start working on the background, those horizontal lines, and there's some vertical lines, and I want to pop that a bit more. It was a little dull. So with colored pencils, you can't see the changes happening that quickly, but I'm brightening them, I'm adding a little green tone, I'm darkening some of the vertical and horizontal lines. That's a little close-up of them. So there's a little yellowish tone in there. I'm just trying to give it some sunlight, a little bit of yellow glow. And I'm moving at the same time all around the picture with my colored pencils, adding details and lights into the vase, the top half and the bottom half, and toning around the vase so it really stands out against the blue floral tablecloth. And the center of these flowers, I'm bringing out some more texture in the blue on the tablecloth. I'm adding, with colored pencils, I'm adding purples and blues, so it almost has like a fabric texture to them. And now the center of the brown flowers, I'm touching up with a bright orange. I really want them to pop. So I'm moving around that quickly, not that quick, adding some more highlights and tones into the vase. Just bringing all the bits and the pieces together so every shape, every area of color holds its own and pops against the other areas of color. And I decided now that the tablecloth needed a little separation from that black and white table, so I laid down some black spotted table to almost look like a bit of lace along the bottom, and still trying to pop the center of those flowers with more colored pencil, more bright orange paint. And working around some more tones and textures into that blue flower tablecloth. Decided we need another little sunflower down here. In the end, as you notice though, that flower ended up being red. It was a hard choice. I couldn't decide which to use, but I went with the red flower instead. But here I'm putting the little black dot onto the yellow flower and trying to decide where to put it. So I'm floating around the table. But first I want to put down some twine, an orange painted twine along the bottom of what looks like a lace tablecloth. And then the flower will sit in place on that again. It'll turn out to be red. And we are almost there. Ta-da!